This is the hashtag, the violence must stop. 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 President-elect John Dramani Mahama, call your boys to order. Let's repeat. President John Dramani Mahama, call your boys to order. President John Dramani Mahama, stop the killing. President John Dramani Mahama, stop the killing.
Friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, the leadership of the New Patriotic Party is pleased to have you in attendance for this press conference. Recent events, particularly the outcome of the 2024 general elections and the unfolding lawlessness by some leading members of the opposition National Democratic Congress and their supporters across the country, has necessitated this engagement. As we are already aware, Ghana went to the polls on Saturday, December 7, 2024, to elect a president in addition to 276 members of parliament. Just 16 hours after the close of polls, our flag bearer, Dr. Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia, conceded defeat, an occurrence never recorded in the 32 years of our democracy. Ordinarily, the concession speech by Dr. Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia and the NPP should have deflated all tensions pertaining to the elections. After all, what was there to fight for again? However, the NDC, inspired by sheer lawlessness, has been sending tax to district and regional coalition centers of the EC to force officials of the commission into declaring results in their favor, even when all due process had not been completed. In the Greater Accra region, on Monday, December 9, 2024, leading members of the NDC captured and locked up the regional office of the EC, where coalition for several parliamentary elections was ongoing. They chased out state security personnel and brought in tax and subsequently took over the coalition process for Kaikwe Central and Ablekumas North constituencies. Further, as is already known to the public, some of our parliamentary candidates and officials of the EC were either held at gunpoint or physically assaulted at various coalition centers by hoodlums of the NDC to force them to declare results in their favor in the following constituencies: Ablekuma North, Domeko Abenya, Okaikwe Central, Tema Central, Ahafano North, Obuasi East, Ahafano Southwest, Akwatia, Suhum, Fantiakwa North, Nsawa Adwoji, Techiman South, and Aorin. For you to appreciate what transpired in these constituencies, I'll pause and invite our majority leader, Honorable Afrena Makin, to give us a vivid report of what happened in some of these constituencies. Honorable, come and take over.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, first of all, it is very regrettable that the NDC, after winning power, will resort to create an atmosphere of lawlessness, threaten parliamentary candidates, threaten party officials, and threaten anybody they see as a threat, so-called. In Ablekuma North, for instance, the parliamentary candidate there is under siege. Yesterday, she had a sleepless night. All manner of persons were at her residence in search of pink sheets. The question is, why is the NDC so interested in destroying evidence? Why are they interested in capturing pink sheets to destroy them and set them ablaze? This woman, Madame Ekuya Afriye, had to run for her life. It took the timely intervention of the police to protect her and to drive these NDC hooligans away. Okaigwe Central, my respected colleague, Honorable Patrick Bawumia, is unable to sleep in his house because they are threatening him, thinking that he has a pink sheet at his residence. His constituency chairman is being looked for. His constituency secretary cannot sleep at home. All because they believe that these individuals have pink sheets. Why should a member of parliament fear for his life? All because he's participating in democracy. I would want to call on His Excellency John Dramani Mahama to stop his people, to speak to his party people. This is not democracy. This is not the democracy we've all worked hard for. The hypocrisy is becoming too clear day in, day out. All of us are being threatened. In my own constituency, for instance, they have now come out with a lie, and unfortunately some media personnel are following such lie to the effect that a certain NDC constituency vice chairman cannot be found. It's a lie. They are using that to incite their party foot soldiers to attack NPP members, including my very self. When NDC was in opposition, of course, before the election, they were the ones who were all over fighting for the right of Ghanaians. Even when a due process in court was being served on them, they cried foul. Today, the NDC leadership pretends that what their party foot soldiers are doing are being done on their blind side, but they are indeed encouraging it. We are calling on civil society to call on the NDC leadership, especially His Excellency President-elect John Dramani Mahama, to demonstrate his love for this country by stopping this action immediately. These individuals are moved in groups. Such attacks are planned and led by some MPs who have been promised juicy positions in government. And they are all over attacking parliamentary candidates. They are looking for pink sheets because they know that that is the evidence that we will use against them. If you go to Sema Central, for instance, the person who purportedly declared the Sema Central seat for the NDC candidate is not the returning officer for Sema Central. They called somebody to declare the result. When the rightful person who has taken an oath, who has deposed to an oath, sworn an oath to be the returning officer for the election, was not the one. If you consider this action in the light of all that is happening, one is compelled to ask that if NDC had lost the elections, what would happen? Is it the case that the leadership of the party had prepared, rehearsed, and plotted this, that in the event that they lose, this country should be made lawless? And because of that, even in spite of their winning, they are still proceeding to do this? At Obuasi East, our candidate was asked to choose between his seat and his life. He was locked up in his room at gunpoint and was forced to sign the final declaration, so-called declaration form. Why should such a thing happen? Is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama pretending not to be aware of all of these? All these things are happening before the media. The cameras are capturing all of these. And is this a country he wants to rule from 2025 to 2028? It is important that they don't just issue statements, but they demonstrate that they do not indeed support this action by stopping their boys. They buy them fuel, they give them pickups, and they move them to locations. We are aware. They cannot pretend that they don't know about this. Akwetia is a similar spot where they know they've lost, they scatter the place, and that is what they've done. My colleague, the majority chief whip, Honorable Ano Dompre, is also under siege, where they know they have lost, but prevented the coalition from happening. Why should it be? Like my respected colleague and General Secretary of the party indicated in his opening statement, Dr. Muhammadu Bawumia conceded defeat in less than 24 hours after election. Indeed, within 16 hours after the elections, when our own data showed that the elections were not going in our favor. We did not wait for the Electoral Commission to come out with a declaration. The practice has been that a losing candidate will normally wait for the Electoral Commission to finish, make the announcement, and then he would concede. On this occasion, because we had a perfect system, a reliable data system, and we had scanners across the country, our agents gave us feedback, and in the very night, by midnight, we knew that indeed things were not okay. By 9 a.m., we have put it out there that Dr. Bawumia was going to address the nation. We did this in the interest of democracy. Why would the NDC, in an attempt to get 2/3 or more, going all over to destroy the country, destroy public properties, and even put fear and panic in the minds and hearts of our people who were candidates for the election? We call on the Electoral Commission to take immediate steps to reverse all these illegal declarations. Declarations that were not made out of properly collated results. Intervene. National headquarters should intervene. The chairperson of the Electoral Commission should intervene and respond positively to all the petitions brought before them and address these matters. We rest our case for now.
We are equally calling on the National Peace Council, National House of Chiefs, Christian Council of Ghana, Catholic Bishop Conference, our National Chief Imam, organized labor, civil society organizations, the diplomatic community, to as a matter of agency and for the sake of our cherished and enviable record as a country that has for over 32 years practiced multi-party democracy, to come out and condemn the lawlessness from the NDC. And we call on the President-elect, Mr. John Dramani Mahama, to call his people to order and also allow the Electoral Commission to do its job. At the end of the day, that is the beauty of democracy. You can't have it all. Is it the case that the NDC is telling us that we are not needed in the next parliament? What kind of country do you want to have? And we are also calling on the media. We have been to these centers. You've seen, with your naked eyes, you've seen the truth. Why are you not reporting? You are the forefront of government. You are supposed to let the people know what is happening. You are supposed to condemn the NDC. That is not the kind of country we want to have. This is not the kind of state we want to have as a country. Are we having a revolution in this country? Why should we happen in this manner? So, as the majority leader indicated, we are waiting to hear from the Electoral Commission with its decision on these constituencies. I will repeat it again. Dome Kwabenya, Ablekuma North, Okaikwe Central, Afano North, Afano Southeast, Obuasi East, Akwetia, Suhum, Fantiapa North, Nsawadridi, Chima South, and Aworin. And we are calling on the police that Mr. IGP, the safety of this country is in your hands. Everybody is watching you. Everybody is counting on you. Let your men provide maximum security at all coalition centers so that the officers of the Electoral Commission can do their constitutional duty of making sure we have credible parliamentary candidates elect or members of parliament in our next parliament. So we want to thank you for coming to our office this afternoon.
Questions?
NPP headquarters. Adekwanti a yɛhyia mo ɛwɔ ha. Ɛne sɛ sɛbi kakabensɛm ɛne tunturasɛm a yɛnya mo NDC foɔ mpanimfoɔ ahyɛ ɔmo mmeranteɛ no maba ɔkutupa sɛ ɔmo nyɛ basabasa na ɔmo nyɛ adeɛ a ɛnsɛ ɛmfata wɔ mɛm ha. Yɛnyɛ nim sɛ yɛkɔto aba Saturday wieɛ. Na de kyɛ pɛpɛpɛ ana NPP yɛfra Katuni Dr. Alhaji Muhammadu Bawumia ɛyɛ press conference ɛka sɛ abanwadeɛ tu na yɛhwɛ NPP yɛayɛ results a yɛakɔlɛti na yɛhu sɛ yɛde nkunim. Na kɛnim sɛ ka saa anamɔ a wɔtui no kɛbɛboa ma asomdwe aba ɔmɛm ha sɛ ɛbɛyɛ a yɛkɔto aba de bi atɛnhyɛ mu no kɛbɛba fam. Nanso so wɔkasa wie yɛ nɔɔma akɔ so wɔ mɛm ha NDC foɔ kyitaafoɔ ɛne nam coalition centers baabi a yɛnka aba no wie yɛ ɛfɔ sɛ Electoral Commission foɔ baabi wɔn de tuo esi Electoral Commission foɔ wɔn de sekan esi wɔn so ɛbu ebi mu sɛ kyinkyin a wɔn de claim NDC sɛ wɔn awie saa parliamentary seats no parliamentary seats a mɛka wɔn asɛm ɛyɛ dɔmi kɔ abenya Ablekuma North Okaike Central Tema Central Afano North Obuasi East Afano Southwest Akwetia Suhum Fantiapa North Nsawa Dredri Techima South and Awori Sebi ka kebima ka bia memmo and de ye adwuma wontimi nya nya 100% enti de wa wi ni no na wo saka yanya odi ade adent na be so di patapa asem ekwaji fun said obi a ene dia eti sa de anya mo ye hia ho a majority leader echeche mu se wo hwe no ma bi e course ewa domi kwa benya Electoral Commission PC to be announce obeye no do na NDC for ekose no ya ye PC kura ya ye koka do mo se no Ablekuma North electoral officer who declare results and so NDC for some month tinche on the pinimo abai yan collect results no kra enwie Tema Central omo ko share Electoral Commission return officer or Tema Central say tinche on declare man was what timinye ebi se nyam na no what timinye no ma kofa obi a what Tema West so on me declare results e ma Tema Central enya no ma tibida Ablekuma North quite no many figures and I'm say declare mu TV so Sam George and Otukonomo and the general how Electoral Commission officer say and more chairman regional chairman more chairman say we declare results say obi a we parliamentary candidates e wo ningo program then abeg na Ablekuma North and na o chair Okaikwe Central and Ablekuma North returning officer Juma Awonye who na they akoto saa officers no so it all shows saa normal course nyina e say be na across the country Obwas is yemra say be no or parliamentary candidate NDC for chile share them allocate down no e be twosin so say on the return officer or mon sign no ne kwa ene owu dey no pe e wo ho na say be o man penin jo mama o man penin oba jo mama o yin no firi nya ye every said the man said in Mabawa and omo yes adwuma no ah wo hwe nkofo omo pa appointment on amomoma omo de di animu e say for bi se basintal is basintal se debe omo nya ka omo yes amoma no na say be pedi bi nsi omo chi a omo ti mai sa de no all na tell me say oh you person nya 2 in parliament na ye wi asisa constitution no say be aru ama obeko 8 years. I don't think that this is quite desperate. various collection centers. Omo yes to trust them no. Na ka say be kenya sa wanya majority dada. It don't put so you bia no bet na. The dem bent na kan wa. Omo nya bracelet ntina, wo pese munya to test. Aden, oman den ye dunti a NDC for person omo yes ade ese oman. Enti na sa akonya resu e ka che electoral commission. Say omo nya pentem commissioners omo ho. Baby NDC for any patapani to trust them akodina say omo sesa results no. They should reverse it and do the right thing. I think for the sake and sanctity of our democracy. Say be ye kan man ka bia memon e be ko nanim. Ye right the period dampare. Say the Ghana e wo so. Ye be to about for political party twice. When you share ka say asunje be ba about to nim. Baby wo okra umran tell it na ho. No be from say you should stand down. Na police for atwu mu ofro. Na ka NDC for nko no intimidating for. Say the man ben the person teacher. Ye NPP say the basa ade a ye so. Na mom sa akonya ya ye dia mama ye kan say so man ye sa de ya emwa ye nyina. NPP would not say that dem transit e ma ba ya koto a ye wini a NDC for npanim say ye wini no omo chinchin yensa. Ye first akonya also as peace councils. Say bu na sunje e wo mo no me ekoso nya mahu peace council for munkasa dey be na moka. Yes, say Christian community, yes, say Muslim community, leaders or more. Normal costly, Ayamofe, Ayamode, international communities or more. Normal costly, Ayamofe, Ayamode. Say the most central for Moha, Monkan crap. Normal costly, are you happy about it? Ayamofe, Ayamode. Centrality, no call, who said normal 1 year cost of power, no year for so on. Sunday person teacher man.
They call them irate youth. They don't even want to.
Sana, the teacher man. Na mo ti radio so TV so NDC for bonnet for so serving am not tell them about be and yes to trust them am not tell them about how many political parties say the NPP e control about anye ya lose na be na to trust them aya dia to my tie be tie sremo e pese mo nyina mo te de ekoso na obi ad na no tum say sa constituency 30 amabo de NDC for Emma Kwan na electoral commission for no enye de sepata ewi a say the Ghana dey din kunim momo nya de basabasa be bo member any patapa ni to trust ma omodi ma MPP tita for enso mu njai and the first time NDC win elections for Ghana ha or MPP win elections for by the end of the day no your man no e can condition and they should remember that power is transferred say the 2 million and end sabako 2 million enter back central for mamunche the NDC for a channel that should be almost so haba ye catch them NDC for just a man trans man come from one to no man condemn wa said that should be power is sam mo bia ma be come fufuro ti when you put wa ye dey man na said ye kono etu okoto be bia train na so nwie mba o menwa na adwuma ese ye adwuma afro so ye be sre Eastern region, or man says, no more than a trainer. Police for Emma Bambo and Coho. Not almost no, but you must say, baby, as you give it back. Near Grandma, not some of that.
They are Deputy General Secretary.
Right.
They said they have not authorized anyone to go around to do what they are doing.
Right.
And whatever they are doing is on their own accord. As a party, what else do you want them to do after coming out to say all this? What else do you want them to do to stop all this?
Indeed, it is our claim that they, the leadership, are the ones who are organizing these gentlemen to do this. And in fact, they organize them, they buzz them, they fuel them, and they are doing it for their benefit, and they know that. That is why we describe their actions as hypocritical, double standard. You send your proxy to act in your stead, you benefit from it, but the consequences thereof, you don't want to take responsibility. It's pretense. And that is why we are calling on the president-elect, President John Dramani Mahama, that he has already soiled his hands with the blood of innocent Ghanaians. The president-elect, even proud to the swearing in, has already soiled his hands with the blood of innocent Ghanaians. The peace of this country is so important, is so critical, that should be his responsibility. That's all I want to say. Thank you very much.
Nana question for man FM. Osha and Muba Bosi at the form where Brana Yapako Twaba, now a collation center, NDC member, including MP, Obituary Free Nigo Pram, Eco PMO Evo Abikumano, Eco Tim, easy official money, said when declared about. Obeka said Bambo no, Omadi Muhammad.
Bambo for police for Edigan and Yamo. Sir Wabakaya, NDC for the past 2 years. What's one pair a soldier for, one pair a soldier for, one pair a soldier for. No military at the collation center, no military at the police station. Now it is clear that they rehearse their plans. No one you bono monitoring. Into what soldier for there, soldier for Bagana for Umba. Into the work at the no soldier. Because no one is a warrior. When you get up a police, they can take advantage of the police. So it's now obvious. And Ghana for name. Saint Internet and this was one pair military during the election. And then of course the military had to stay back. All the elections are here in Ghana. Military, police work together. They were at the polling centers and at collation centers. Where Nipoponi being tuned them over collation center. On this occasion, because the police and some areas in prison officers and immigration officers, they were helpless because the NDC had rehearsed what it wanted to do, not to even accept the result, and they thought that they were going to lose the elections. Now that they've won, they want to still unleash the mayhem on innocent Ghanaians. And it is the responsibility of the president-elect. I repeat, he has soiled his hands with the blood of innocent Ghanaians. And it is not enough to tell his people that what they are doing is illegal or criminal. He ordered them. They take decisions at their party headquarters. He is the leader of their party and he knows about it. So, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama, the General Secretary Fifi Kwete, the National Chairman Mr. Sedun Katia, these four men, these four gentlemen of this country should know that they are responsible for all the actions of their foot soldiers. All of us are being threatened, all of us are receiving calls, and they know why they are doing that, including members of parliament who are leading these young men and inspiring them. But I have one message for NDC. I'm not a prophet. I'm not a seer. I am an ordinary Ghanaian with my naked eyes. I tell them this. Tomorrow, these young men that you are arming to attack NPP will turn on you. NDC should take this from me. Today, I'm not being prophetical. I'm not a seer. But I can assure you, the NDC leaders, that these young men that you are unleashing on NPP, I give you maximum 1 year. They will turn on you. The guns you have bought for them, the machetes, they will chase you with the same machetes. Because you will not be able to satisfy them. If you ask them to go and kill for you to go to parliament, if you ask them to inflict machete wounds on an innocent person, bear in mind that you are going to pay and pay and pay. You can't finish paying them. They will chase you in parliament. They will chase you at the ministries. They will blackmail you and would all be in this country. I'm not being prophetic, but it is going to happen. Oh, this man is already up. Let's listen to him.
Electoral Commission press conference. Now, what the two just say Ablikmanov in particular, almost suspended a coalition.
Yes.
For now. But I say, I get here and then from what we say, NDC candidate, they declare the winner.
So what to our baby are now we declare we are, it's not enough. The returning officer assigned the rate of elections, no, the Electoral Commission headquarters. and San Wako Gazette. All those processes won't go through. And NDC, they are invoking a certain provision in the law that when 70% or 75% is declared that, we should go ahead. They are being very myopic with the understanding of the law. Therefore, Zawoyan, they are only trying to make themselves happy. But I believe that the Electoral Commission is what we will know on that. But let me take this opportunity to also say something. I've been watching TV3. TV3, I respect TV3 as a media house. I know they've been doing their civic duties. But TV3, please again, it is one Ghana, as the General Secretary said, maybe today, it is one party that you may be favoring. But be fair, because when things get out of hand, it may come back to you. I am not against your editorial policies, but my respected TV3 as a media house, please be fair to the facts. It's not everything that they bring that you go on an attack. We see your panelists, all the things that they say. Yes, we have lost elections. It's okay. It's not the first time that a party is losing elections. We expect TV3 and other media houses to be fair. A situation where your panelists will be inciting violence, your host would encourage people to come out with pronouncements that seek to disturb the peace of the country, it has to be watched. And that is my only call on you. You still have your right to exercise discretion as to what you want to air and what you don't want to air. But things are getting out of hand. We have lost elections. We're ready to serve in opposition. But there's a new government. Let them do the right thing and let the violence stop. This is the hashtag, the violence must stop. 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 President-elect John Dramani Mahama, call your boys to order. Let's repeat. President John Dramani Mahama, call your boys to order. President John Dramani Mahama, stop the killing. President John Dramani Mahama, stop the killing. Thank you very much.